welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me for another one of my videos. So today is Spiritual Book Club March. Where are the months going? Like, I keep doing like March, like, you know, I can't believe I'm doing March Spiritual Book Club, and then soon it'll be March favourites. It's like this year is absolutely zooming past us. So in this video today, I wanted to show you the books that I've been reading over the last month and what I intend to read over the next few weeks. So the book I was intending to read last month was Rebecca Campbell's Raisa Stir Fry. So this is the second book by Rebecca. I'd bought this years ago along with Light is the New Black, but just never got around to reading it. You know, sometimes when you buy books and then you just know that at some point in my life that will be the time to read it. So recently, as I've been delving more into my divine feminine work, I felt really called to reading this and Lisa Lister's work as well, which I mentioned last time. So for me, I was really excited to read what this was all about. And I remember I read maybe the first chapter or first couple of chapters as soon as I finished Light is the New Black 2 years ago, and I just wasn't vibing this. But this time I was like in it and read it within 2 days. I can't even begin to tell you how quickly I read this book. I mean, it's a very thick book, like it's about 300 pages, so this would have taken Emma a month normally to read, and I read it all within 2 days. And I was like, clearly I was meant to read this, quite clearly. So the reason why I felt drawn to this is because Rebecca's work is very divine feminine. It's very embracing our divine feminine energy, flowing, and just, you know, I was very educated on the masculine energy, but I wasn't very educated or balanced in my feminine energy at the beginning of this year. So I think because I just naturally had to be in my masculine to execute all of the things and get all of the things done I've done in the last 18 months, now is the time where I can focus on my feminine energy and really flow into it and manifest from my feminine energy as well. So the chapters are really interesting. They're like very short and sweet. Like sometimes they're like one-page kind of poem styles, sometimes they're like full chapters. There's loads of quotes, there's practices in here, and I really like how Rebecca structures the book, because it's really easy reading. Like I really vibe with the way she writes, because sometimes when you have authors who write long chapters and like use very poetic language, like for me sometimes that doesn't always resonate with me, and I have to be very switched on to take it in and, you know, understand it and almost like translate it into like, what does that word mean, like, because, you know, my English isn't the best. So Rebecca's work I really vibe with, just because it's really relatable, it's really easy reading, as well as being really deep and really meaningful as well. So it's a lot less kind of energy as such that my brain has to kind of go through to like understand, if that makes sense. So it's so much easier reading, essentially. Like it's literally a page turner, this book, for me. And because the short sweet chapters as well, it just feels fresh, like it keeps you wanting to read more and more, whereas sometimes when I read big lengthy chapters I'm like, oh my god, I just want to get to the end and then put it down for a bit. So with this book, like I said, I really couldn't put it down. The fact I read this in 2 days is a freaking miracle, literally. But I needed every single word of this. Like Rebecca's work is so beautiful and I really connect to it on so many levels. And, you know, I'd done a podcast with Rebecca as well, if you want to go and listen to that. But yeah, I really love Rebecca's work. This is an absolute phenomenal book. If you want to kind of go into your feminine energy yourself and really embrace and understand why we need to balance the feminine and masculine, and there's a really good chart in here as well of what unbalanced feminine and masculine energy looks like and what balanced feminine and masculine energy is. And as well as obviously being primarily about feminine energy, it obviously goes into the masculine as well, of why we need to balance it and why both are super important. So yes, I would definitely say that Raisa Stir Fry has been one of the books that has really changed my game for me, really awakened me even further, and really brought me into a beautiful place of understanding my feminine energy and manifesting with my feminine energy, which has been so beautiful. If you've watched some of my previous videos, obviously I talk about how I've been manifesting from my feminine energy recently instead of my masculine, because obviously manifesting is very masculine orientated energy anyway, so it's nice to be able to flow and allow and surrender more and dance with life, but also, you know, just embrace my femininity more massively. So absolutely highly recommend if you want to do the same, even if you are really well balanced in your feminine, maybe this could really help you balance your masculine as well. But such a powerful read. As always, just like her first book, absolutely loved it. So I can't wait to see what Rebecca brings out next. I'm gagging for a third book, Rebecca, so please hurry up with it, literally. But yeah, really enjoyed reading this. I was kind of sad when I finished it after 2 days. I kind of thought, oh, that was like so freaking good, and now I'm like, what do I do with my life? It's almost like when you watch a really good series, like when I binge watch series on Netflix and then you get to the end and you're like, oh, I need to know more, like I need season 2, so I need book 3, literally. So yeah, it almost left me feeling like, oh my god, what do I do with my life? Like literally for 2 days I've been binging this and it's been amazing. But you know, from that I was obviously able to like take the practices and go and do the practices and like really work on my feminine energy even more outside of the book. So love this, love this, love this. I'm sure I'll come back to it and read it again at some point in my life. But it is The Guide to Unleashing the Wise, Wild Woman Within, and I would absolutely say that that is a spot on quote of what the book does, and absolutely love it. So the next book that I'm reading throughout March, I've actually got 2 this month just because I'm going away on holiday next week. So I want to be able to have 2 books with me at least, because I'm sure I will read both in the week period. So I've got a big opportunity for reading, so I was like, yes, let's pick 2 really life-changing books, because whenever I go away on holiday, like I always just really love to take a really inspirational read so I can kind of up level and really go within abroad and like really switch off and just like flow into a good book and like come away a new woman. So my holiday reads are very important to me. So I went on Instagram and asked you guys what you would recommend reading, because I just kind of felt like I was searching for these books, but I just couldn't really see any new kind of releases that really grabbed me, or authors who I really thought, oh yeah, I've been meaning to read that. So one of the recommendations you guys gave me was Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. So Vex King is a lovely guy over on Instagram. I followed him for a while, and he's a very inspirational teacher, but he's massively on self-love, massively on manifesting and living a good life through love and through self-love. So his daily messages are lovely anyway and really uplifting. And I'd seen the book but wasn't really sure whether I'd vibe with it, and then as soon as you guys started recommending it, I was like, okay, this book has come up like 20-30 times for me. I'm pretty sure I need to read this book. So I went and purchased it. It was £7 on Amazon. It was reduced, but it's quite a diddy book actually. If you look at it compared to Rebecca's, it's a very diddy book, but it's very cute, very pocket sized in a very good way. So it's quite thick, but I love the gold foil on the front. It looks so lovely, so beautiful. It's such a nice cover, really grabs you, and I just love the kind of minimalistic theme about it. So how self-love is the key to unlocking your greatness. So this really grabbed me. So it's got a bit of Vex's story in here, mixed with obviously self-help on how to live the best life essentially. So super excited to read this. Vex is also coming on my podcast in a couple of months time, so I'm super excited to have a chat with him, and I'm certain we'll be discussing the book anyway. But let me know if you've seen this book, or you know Vex's work, or you're intending to read this book, because I am super pumped to read it. I'm super excited to like get off the plane and be like, inspire me, Vex, come on, like inspire me. So yeah, can't wait, and I'll let you know next month how I get on with this one. So the next read is maybe a little bit different, maybe not your stereotypical spiritual book, but I'm super excited to read it. So this was another recommendation from you guys, so thank you all so much for your recommendations. These 2 books really stood out to me, and both by men as well. So it's interesting because although I feel Vex is like very feminine and masculine balance, this is very masculine orientated, especially with the author. So I was like, it's weird that I've now gone for masculine books when I've been really heavily focused on feminine. I mean, I could be surprised, there could be some feminine like gold dust in these books, but I thought it was a bit weird that I felt kind of gravitated more towards masculine energy books. So this is the New York Times bestseller, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. So this is by Mark Manson, and it's a counterintuitive approach to living a good life. So I'd heard the title of this book before, but I'd never seen the cover, I'd never seen Mark's work before. So I decided, like, I had to look on Amazon, and I was like, actually, like, this is right up my street. Like, I really feel like this could be really beneficial to read. So I ordered it, and then I looked into Mark's work more, saw him on Instagram, and I was like, actually, like, this man seems like really cool. Like, I've never come across his work before, but actually, like, I really feel drawn to him in a weird way. So yeah, it's obviously got swearing in it. I mean, just by the kind of, you know, the F word on the front might be a little bit of a giveaway. In this generation defining self-help guide, a superstar blogger shows us that the key to being happier is to stop trying to be positive all the time and instead to become better at handling adversity, which I think is a really interesting take on it, because it is true. In the self-help industry, everyone's like, just be positive, positive vibes, blah, blah, blah. But actually, it's actually about navigating your way through the adversity and realizing that we can't be positive 100% of the time. Like, look at it from a very like my work kind of way of how I talk about cyclic natures, how it's all about the yin and yang, the light, the darkness. We have to go through the darkness to have the light. So, you know, life is a constant cycle of seasons and energy. You know, we can't always be in that high vibe. So I really felt drawn to this in the sense of it would be really good to see a masculine approach of how, because obviously I know the feminine approach of the cyclic natures, the moon cycles and all of this, but it'd be interesting to see how Mark represents this and how to handle adversity better. So really interesting. You guys, a lot of you guys recommended this, so obviously you guys have been loving it too, but let me know if you've read this or you're intending to as well. So there you have it. Those are the books I'm intending to read over the next month, so I will look forward to reading them on my holiday and let you guys know next month how I got on. But as always, please do let me know what you've been loving and you've been reading in the comments down below, because as you guys see, they are my next recommendations. So I love finding out what you like to read. I love buying new books, so yes, please do let me know. So thank you so much guys for watching my video. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I reply to them all. And don't forget you can join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls talk all things spirituality and positivity. And don't forget my own book, Spiritual Queen, is out now and you can buy it worldwide. So I hope you have a fantastic week, whatever you're up to, and lots of love guys.